So I stayed up till like 2 or 2:30 in the morning last night getting out this birthday video, just because, you know, I really didn't have that was my deadline. Woke up and I'm getting ready to upload it to YouTube, and I just completely forgot that I needed to have a thumbnail too. Oh, I don't have a lot of time. I gotta go to work. Oh no! Oh no! At Rudy's with my favorite person in the whole world, Chelsea. Great to see her. It's wonderful. Rico's here too.
Yeah, because we don't live like a minute from each other or anything.
I know, it's horrible. 23rd birthday dinner is at Rudy's. I have not actually ate here since I moved down to Oklahoma City, so this is definitely a treat. Thank you for paying. Alright, slight Levi personal problem. Whenever I graduated, my parents were very generous and they got me this Sony A5100, and I love this thing for videos. It just takes gorgeous video. Okay, so Daisy's grandma and grandpa's dog, and I don't think she remembers me too well, but she's got big. Hi Daisy. How's it going? And I don't know what it was. I was recording one thing, and then I like turned it off, turned it back on, and it was like, can't recognize limbs. I pretty much tried everything. I tried cleaning it. I've even like looked up, tried to find places that can do like camera repair. Can't think of anything. I don't know if it's this or if it's the lens, but you know, last resort, I'm gonna, you know, bust this bad boy open. Alright, so in the meantime, this camera's trash. Going home for the weekend. Got a couple of things to pick up. Owen's excited. Flavor vapor. There's a lot of vape shops in Oklahoma City. I thought vaping was more of just kind of like I didn't think a lot of people vaped. I just thought that the people that vaped were really loud about it, you know, kind of like doing CrossFit or vegetarianism. All of this garbage, because I don't really have a better word for it, garbage that I had at my house in Pittsburgh, and it was like too big, or just I didn't have a place to put it whenever I was moving down to Oklahoma City. So, you know, a bunch of clothes that I never wear, this chair, this is Owen's chair, and light, stuff like that. I was going through all the stuff, and it was just a bunch of junk that I had. I found when I went to Hawaii, I thought it'd be fun to get a pinup calendar, and I found it upstairs, and I hung it in Dad's garage. And I chose the lovely Miss November 2015 because, my goodness, she is a cutie. Urani? Left it up here. I'm gonna see how long it takes him to figure it out. Now, my dad doesn't watch the vlog, so don't tell him. I want to see how long it takes him just to figure it out that it's over there, okay? Ain't I a stinker? Me and Owen are living in Oklahoma City now, so there's really not a bunch of wide open spaces to go hang out at. And considering, you know, I work most of the time, Owen just stays inside the apartment for majority of his life, is that he's just in a 600 square foot apartment. So I think it's important that he gets to come out here and run around every once in a while. Go, bud. Get your butt out of the... So I got this sweet new blanket. It's a weighted blanket, 15 pounds. It's got like sand in it. I got it because like I love the compression of like whenever you have like 5 or 6 blankets like stacked on top of you and it's like all pushing down on you. It's like a Queen song. If only they made Snuggies out of this. Remember Snuggies? What's the discussion for the day? Yes, my love for 80s television shows being turned into reboots. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let me fill you in. So hey, I'm gonna ramble on for the next however long about Magnum PI, so if you don't care, see you next week. Go ahead, click away. It's fine. No, it's cool. It's just gonna hurt my feelings. So Magnum PI has been off the air for what, 30 years? Is that right? 30 years? I didn't really get into Magnum PI up until probably like my freshman year of college. The thing that got me like really interested in it was an episode of Archer. And it was whenever they were doing the whole Magnum PI like parody, satire. I don't remember what the difference is, and it really doesn't matter. And if you're gonna put in the comments it doesn't matter. At the time, Magnum PI was on Netflix, and I started watching that, and I loved it. It was great. It just satisfied all the things that I loved, and it was just everything that I wanted in a TV show. It had drama, suspense, humor, comedy. There was mystery involved. It took place in a beautiful location. It was great. Tom Selleck was an amazing actor. I loved him. All the other names are just drawing blanks on me. But I love the original Magnum PI. I love Tom Selleck, especially after watching Shadow Riders and Quigley Down Under. Oh my God, Quigley Down Under. If you have not seen that movie, please do yourself a favor. It is fantastic. Wouldn't you agree? So just know that before I, jump into all this. I have a bias. I don't care that Higgins is a woman. I honestly think that's awesome. I think Higgins as a woman fits that character better than the original Higgins, just because a woman is more like, I feel like women have a better idea like where to poke and like know what buttons to press and where to like twist the knife. I thought she was great. I am a little disappointed, or disappointed is not the right word. I would not have taken the character in the way of she kicks ass now, because the original Higgins was, he's the person that you talk to get an older perspective on things. And sometimes, yeah, he does ramble on forever.
Sorry, I should have warned you. I was a commando instructor during the war.
So I think it's awesome that Higgins is a woman now, but I kind of wish that it was an older woman. The only person that I can think of that would like perfectly fit that cast, but I think she's just a little too old, is the woman that plays Mallory Archer in Archer, and she also is in Arrested Development. I can't remember her name to save my life. Hold on. Jessica Walter. That's her name. Like, the snarkiness, the sarcasm. I think that's like...
You want us to do nothing?
Yes, just like you've done up to now.
Mallory,
But thank you both for all that you did do, which again was nothing.
Nothing? I got shot.
Any idiot can get shot, Cyril.
The more of like a dry humor. I think that would be the... I think that would be a great character for Higgins. Okay, so I sat down and I watched the episode, and I've tried to keep it as unbiased as possible. I tried to just remove all expectations. I just completely forgot about the old show, and I was just watching this, and I wanted to see how I felt about it. And in my opinion, it honestly wasn't super bad. In fact, I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't like it was super deep or there was a lot of drama. Yeah, there were very serious moments, but it honestly felt very, very light, very, for lack of a better term, it felt fun. It was a lot of running around, shooting guns, driving awesome cars, and witty one-liners here and there, and then just every once in a while interspersed with a little bit of seriousness and a little bit of drama. And it was like, this is kind of cool. Also, I really like the theme music that they have. It's very reminiscent of the older Magnum PI, but it's got like a new twist on it, which is what I think they were going for with this show. And Rick, I love Rick. Rick, that guy that plays Rick, he's got it. He's got it nailed. And I love the fact that you actually see him in the show doing things as Rick. In the original, you just see him on the phone at the club, which is probably more realistic, but it's cool to see Rick actually go to places and talk to people and try to get that information himself. And Jay Hernandez, the guy that plays the new Thomas Magnum, he actually did a pretty good job. He has his own Magnum. He's not trying to copy Tom Selleck, which is honestly something I cannot thank him enough, because to me, Tom Selleck is like the man. He is cool. He is funny. He's awesome. He's a like, to me, Tom Selleck is what made Thomas Magnum in the originals who he was. Like, we would not have the original Thomas Magnum without Tom Selleck. Trying to keep similar characteristics, like seem to take similar traits, but not be the exact same character, which I think is better for everybody. Things I did not like about the episode. There was a lot of CGI cars. Like, there was a lot of animated cars. Like, I remember there was a couple of shots when they were using the old Ferrari and it looked fake. And it just looked like a computer car driving. It's like, you have the car, why not just film that? The director is the guy that directed Fast and the Furious. He knows how to direct cars, so what's the problem? The other thing was they really seemed to force a lot of character development in this first episode. Like, they talked about Magnum's love for baseball, they talked about his wife, they talked about his dad. With Higgins, there was like a big thing with MI6. And with like the whole group, they were talking about how they were prisoners of war. Like, all these things we're trying to piece together on these characters we just met are something that we developed over seasons with these old characters. Higgins doesn't really become friends with Magnum until essentially season 2. That first season, they were not fans of each other at all, and really even beyond that, they weren't like super like, yeah buddy, I'll do anything for you. But like at one time Higgins gets kidnapped and Magnum saves him, and that was really like the start of their friendship, of when they started doing things for the other, not just because they live together and they're exchanging favors, but because they genuinely care about them. So like when it starts off as like Magnum and Higgins, they're great. It's like there should be some sort of development there. There needs to be growth. There needs to be like, we don't like each other for a while, and then eventually it's like, oh, okay. Like, do I have it with me? I'm such a nerd. I wrote down all my favorite Magnum PI episodes. Excuse me, 1 second. Like, I believe we didn't even know Magnum was married until like season 2. The first time we ever even thought about Magnum's dad dying was in season 4. Season 3 is when we really started to get into like the whole Higgins backstory. I mean, yes, he talked about it for all of season 1 and season 2, but season 3 is when we actually started to, zone in on it. But the thing that irritated me the most, the thing that hurt the most, was when I queued up the episode and I saw episode 1 of the new Magnum PI is called I Saw the Sunrise. So people that aren't aware of the reference, in season 3 episode 1 it was called Did You See the Sunrise, which I believe was a 2-parter. So me taking that plot and just shrinking it down, Magnum and TC were prisoners of war in Vietnam. This KGB agent essentially tortured them for a couple months and then decided to let them go, and they were thinking that they escaped. Years later, he shows up in Hawaii and one of Magnum's friends dies in a car explosion that was essentially meant for Magnum. Magnum and the gang foil the plot and he decides to leave. Well, he is stopped on the way to the airport and essentially dies in one of the coolest TV moments I have ever seen. It was so like, oh my gosh. It's absolutely incredible. It's an amazing episode. Season 3, episode 1, Did You See the Sunrise? Huh. And I think that's why I really like the older one. So essentially in the new series, Magnum's friend is found dead. He is essentially onto this whole plot on to get gold out of a ship, and Magnum stops it. Like, there's cool cars, there's some interesting dialogue, and there's like meeting all these different characters, and there's also a really cool fight scene with Higgins and 2 ex-Marines. But really, that was it. That was the whole show. And after I watched the first episode of the new one, I went back and I immediately watched the old one, and I just loved it. It was like, ugh! Essentially, the short version of that is Magnum's friend is found dead with a whole bunch of cocaine in his stomach, and he was in the military, and they were like, okay, he is just disavowed. He will not be buried with honors. And it was like, what? And so this is the big point that I have about these two shows. In the new one, when Magnum has to go talk to a CEO, he acts like this. Essentially just walks in the door and is like, hey Buck, how's it going? I just want to talk to you real quick.
There's no point in getting in his face.
And in the original, he did this.
Excuse me.
What's this crap about Dan Cook smuggling coke?
Sorry, sir. He never stopped.
It's all right. It's all right.
One of my fondest memories will always be the day you resigned your commission. Watching the Shore Patrol toss your butt off this station.
You want to
with
tell me why you're writing Dan off, or you want the Shore Patrol to charge me with assault?
Dude, that's a power move. That's awesome. It was just like, holy cow, I mean, could you imagine a 6'4" man in a Hawaiian shirt busting in your door and yelling at you? I know I couldn't. It would throw me off guard. And the guy that died, his sister flew out and she was trying to take care of everything, and there were such these emotional moments in there that you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know you, but I feel for you. This is horrible. And there's all these stories that are overlapping, and you have to try to like piece it together from all these different things. And it feels like there's an actual mystery there. It actually feels like something that you would need a private detective for. Like, I look at this and you can still have these kinds of shows. Like, you can have ones that have mystery and you have to think about it and have these like emotional dialogues and make you feel.
My name is Michael Weston. I used to be a spy until...
We got a burn notice on you. You're blacklisted.
Burn Notice is essentially Magnum PI in Miami. Like, you got the comic relief character that gets all the information. He's the connected guy, played by the wonderful Bruce Campbell. Bruce, call me. Oh my gosh, I love you. Briscoe County Jr., Army of Darkness. Oh my gosh, I love you. But no, seriously, Bruce Campbell called me. I'd be freaked out. And then you had the cool butt-kicking girl that's just all like, I like guns. Fiona was an amazing character. Michael Weston was a good character. His mom was a good character. Michael Weston's brother was a little odd. Really not someone there to foil the plot, but just make his life more difficult than it really needed to be. Especially since it was so difficult at the time. You know, getting shot at, blown up, stuff like that. I need to go back and watch Burn Notice. Anyways, just to like sum up this weird rant that I've had, just because I wanted to say something to somebody, is I love the originals. It was a roller coaster of stories. Like, there were episodes of like a Chinese guy going around looking for a vase and like a murder mystery party. Crazy episodes like that. And then there were ones that were like so deep and like made you think. There was one about Nazis that were running a shirt shop that were essentially being hunted down by the secret Jewish police. This crazy daredevil wanted to do something so insane that it killed him. One of my favorite episodes was when it starts of Magnum in a car crash and he has amnesia and he has to figure out what happened. There's an episode that a hurricane was going on and the house got robbed at a house party. Another great episode was when a Supreme Court judge nominee was trying to figure out what happened to his wife. All of these are amazing episodes. They're so good, and I don't think I'm going to get anything like that in this new show. I don't think it's going to be as deep. I don't think it's going to be as memorable. I think it's just going to be a fun thing that I can turn my brain off to and watch. I don't know. I still have to watch the new episodes and see. But that would be the big reason for me to keep watching, not to expect anything that would be like, wow, this is amazing, but something of like, it's getting better. I wouldn't really watch it to enjoy it. I would just watch it to see if it would get better. But hey, that's just my opinion. I was born in 95, 7 years after the show ended, so what do I know? So if you agree or disagree, please leave a message down in the comments. I'd love to read them. And if you don't care, well, that's okay too. So thank you for letting me talk nonsense for the past half hour. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Peace.